So we are gonna leave today, unfortunately.
Dude, somebody was digging a grave out here. Oh god.
Wanted to steer clear of the guy in the woods.
On January 24th, 2026, the YouTube channel Count It All Joy posted a video vastly different from its usual homestead content. Known for showing peaceful family life farm chores and rural living, the channel instead recorded an unsettling moment at a remote countryside property in the United States. With the husband away and a mother at home alone with her children, an ordinary day turned into something deeply unsettling, without warning or outside help nearby. Farm chores are underway.
What is he doing? Okay, dude, you can keep on walking. Now, I don't know if he's going over to the neighbor's driveway. I called 911 already. Now I'm going to call Dutch back and see if he has this guy's phone number. Okay, dude, you need to move along. Literally can't even leave your kids home who are of age because you have some Fruit Loop walking down the road. This is ridiculous. While people are at work, taking their kids to school, doing whatever they're supposed to do, he's just wandering down, seeing what he can steal or what he can get. This is ridiculous. I guess I'm literally going to follow where he ends up. What are you doing roaming around at people's houses? Don't come on our property. Don't come on our property. Do what? No, you're roaming around. No one else is roaming around. It's you. Okay, well, the cops are headed this way, so you can talk to them. The cops are headed this way, so you can tell them whatever.
When the dog suddenly burst into loud, aggressive barking. Sarah turns toward the sound and notices a solitary man standing motionless at the edge of the tree line. His stillness feels heavier than the noise coming from the barking dogs.
Now he's on someone else's property. This is like getting out of control. We don't need this guy in our area. I don't know these people's phone number, but I'm trying to have Dutch get a hold of them because they have a couple cars home. This is absolutely insane. He has no business over there. I'm trying not to scare him off so I can talk to these people. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to try to get a hold of them. I literally need to go pick Hadley up. This is not how I expected to spend my day. Ridiculous. What is he doing? That's absolutely terrifying. That if the lady's home and she just looks outside and this dude's staring at her house.
Choosing not to confront him, Sarah gets into her van and keeps her distance. From inside the vehicle, she slowly follows as he walks along a quiet country road while she calls 911. His pace is unnaturally slow, and he shows no reaction to the barking dogs or the vehicle following nearby. The lack of urgency in his movements only increases the tension. As she watches, the man turns into nearby driveways, stepping onto private property without hesitation. He moves through neighboring yards as if no boundaries exist. The houses remain silent. No one comes outside, no help arrives. Later, Sarah returns and explains where the man first appeared. The way she describes it quietly changes how the entire encounter feels.
While I was here on the property by myself, Dutch was out of town and the girls were all at school. I just had a few minutes that I was going to check on some things with the animals. And I heard the dogs barking, Gabby and Gracie. So those are our two German Shepherds. Around, I saw at the edge of the woods, literally right by our house, there was a guy. And I was like, kind of squinting, I was like, surely that's not a person. But Gabby and Gracie just kept barking at him. And then he walked around behind the house. I thankfully had the van right beside me so I could quickly get in it. And then I decided I was going to back up in the van and just go along our driveway and follow and see where he was going. He ended up over across the road at our neighbor's, who is an elderly woman. And so we contacted her son. You know, he was aware, and I just kept watching him to make sure he didn't make it up to her house. And so then I ended up following him to the end point where he went off into the woods.
Many viewers believe this encounter felt deliberate, not random, and more disturbing because help never arrived. When isolation meets delayed response, where does safety truly come from? And what choices would you make if this happened at your home? In November 2025, deep within Botswana's central Kalahari, an expedition traveled farther into one of Africa's harshest landscapes. What began as a wildlife journey shifted quickly when thick smoke appeared along the horizon. What looked like rainfall was fire fast-moving, unpredictable, and pushed by changing winds.
And it is a spectacular one. Are you joking? Time to go see some animals.
First line was fantastic. LX27, man, it was beautifully silent. We had the wind coming and kept it nice and cool. Sunrise was incredible this morning. And red sunrise. Ready for the day.
That's heaps of space in there. You could have 16 people in that. Hopefully, they say reckon it's line proof. So we'll test that out tomorrow night. No, geez, tonight.
Biggest lines that there is on planet Earth, which is good. Nad said I didn't snore, so things are looking up. He said I'm not allowed to get on the now, so I can sleep nicely. We'll see how that goes.
As temperatures climbed past 40 degrees Celsius, the convoy crossed wide bull dust plains with few chances to turn back.
Same as you get in the Kimberleys there, that really fine, very, very dusty stuff that is going to get absolutely everywhere. Temperature's about the same too, actually, probably 40 degrees. Crikey, it's hot. Gee, there's no water, and it's bugger all food.
Oh yeah, a bit of shade, eh?
Bit of shade.
This is where you definitely need an awning.
Survival in this environment would be difficult with limited water and little food. Rangers warned that lions freely roam these open camps, while advancing fires forced animals toward the same routes. Ash drifted through the air as the vehicles moved toward an orange glow that felt apocalyptic.
Into this wall of fire. Well, the rangers at the station have assured us that the wind will be winding down. Corrections, we are not taking this lightly. It was only a couple of years ago that we were forced to leave a campsite charging towards us, so we know the danger is real. Fires can be one of the most dangerous things to encounter when you're away on a touring trip.
Well, there we go. We were very lucky.
Winds shifted without warning, and past experience had already shown how quickly a campsite can be overtaken by flames. Fire in remote touring is among the most dangerous threats. By the time camp was reached, the land was scorched and silent. Trees stood blackened, facilities were burned, and the bush felt emptied, too quiet. As night fell, cooking continued over open flames, while tension lingered in every sound beyond the tents.
Well, there we go. We were very lucky. The direction of the road's going to the campsite. Fire's actually already ripped through this area, which was all the smoke we were driving towards. Fire pockets, there's a few more over there. All this section's burnt off, but it hasn't jumped the road, which is lucky. Otherwise, all this would be up as well, so.
And then, but yeah, rip in for the night, eh?
Dean's just come to show us the facilities.
This is a bit of the bog. This is the long drop. It's actually sad to see. These are beautiful. See the spiral shape? Looks like a big snail. Used to walk in there, walk around the timber, and this was really nicely, basically cornered off, so you couldn't see anything. And then that's the shower one, what used to be.
The fires had already passed through nearby sections, stopping short of the road. In places like this, danger doesn't announce itself. Fire heat, predators, and isolation press in together. Some believe the danger had already passed, while others think it was only delayed. When fire moves this fast and help is far away, how do you know when it's truly safe to stop or when to leave? A video uploaded on December 11th, 2016 captures a chilling moment. While searching for new places to ride, a motorcyclist comes across something unsettling in a wooded area. The creator of the YouTube channel, Theo freakin' Door, is traveling through the forest when something unusual draws his attention in the distance. He and a friend decide to leave their bikes and approach the area on foot. As they move closer, an uneasy feeling begins to settle in as if they are being watched. With each step forward, the discomfort grows stronger. They soon discover a large, square section of ground that appears recently disturbed.
What is that? No way. I didn't really see it until you said something. Dude, that was straight up hold on. I want to get a good I want to get a good view of it. Dude, somebody was digging a grave out here. Oh god.
The soil looks freshly turned out of place against the surrounding forest floor. They pause only long enough to record what they have found, but the sight clearly leaves them shaken. The hole's size makes a simple animal burial unlikely, yet harmless explanations cannot be ruled out. Its fresh, deliberate shape raises uneasy questions. Was this abandoned work or something intentionally hidden? And would you have stayed to investigate? Late on a freezing night in Europe, a van life couple from the Channel camping car Joa Ien prepared to leave a quiet beachside spot where they had stayed undisturbed for nearly a week. The video documenting the incident was uploaded on January 31st, 2021. Until that morning, nothing unusual had happened.
We stay in this beach for a week. We need to do some other stuff like go shopping for buying up food. So we are gonna leave today, unfortunately. We love this place, really.
While packing up their solar panels and gear, they noticed a biodegradable bag hanging from the rear of their van. It had not been there the night before. Written on it were two simple words for you, along with a hand-drawn smiley face.
We are gonna show you what is in the bag. A bag is like this. Biodegradable bag was hanging outside. And they say for you guys can see. So we really thought that that is a garbage, food garbage. But right before Mark threw it away, and I said seriously, people do that kind of stuff? For the prank? A little bit mindset that if it is food garbage, to not get upset, sometimes it happen. Why I say sometimes happen previous.
At first, they assumed it was trash, or a prank meant to frighten them away. Past trips had made them familiar with harassment, including people knocking on doors and disappearing into the dark.
Teenager, knocking on our door and laughing and run away. Those situations happen. Mark is going up, so camera is shaking. So we had a kind of mindset, but at least this bag has a for you and smiley face, and we just let's try it. Let's open it up. This is a bag. I just open it up and I pull out what it has.
The assumption felt reasonable. When the bag was opened, the atmosphere changed. Inside were fresh fruits, small treats, decorations, and even sage.
There is orange and cute. Look at this. Fruits were here. Someone put it there for giving us. So who gave us? Middle of night. When did they hung up? And then we found this little note. It is a tea bag. They reuse it. It's really cute, nice. Basically, it say hi travel friends. They say, we saw our car and they love kimchi.
The items appeared carefully chosen and personal, not random or careless. The discovery felt unsettling, as someone had watched them closely enough to leave the bag in the middle of the night without making a sound or leaving a trace. While it may have been a kind gesture, the timing raises questions. Would it feel welcoming to you, or intrusive? Deep in the woods, a YouTuber encountered something unexpected, a landline phone concealed among the trees. When the receiver was lifted, what followed left a lingering sense of unease. Bohemian Grove is a private, all-male club that gathers once a year in the forests of Monterey, California. The location is heavily guarded and surrounded by secrecy, making it a frequent subject of conspiracy theories due to the lack of public information about what occurs during these meetings. A YouTuber known online as Dancer claimed to have entered the property multiple times to document what he found. During his visits, he explored cabins that appeared locked from the outside and described an unsettling atmosphere both inside the buildings and throughout the surrounding forest. He also recorded several unusual structures scattered across the property, ranging from large wooden buildings to industrial-looking setups with no obvious function. One of the most disturbing discoveries occurred when he found a phone hidden in the woods emitting eerie sounds.
Like a minute or two ago, there was some pretty creepy noises in the trees. Probably just some animals, but you can never be so sure. Here's an AED. Oh, there's no AED in here. That looks like a poisonous spider. Hello? Alright. Phone will ring in hospital and security. Well, I should have read that before I touched it. I might have just blown my cover.
After picking it up, he believed the action may have triggered some kind of alert and feared being discovered. No one appeared at the time.
I did get a letter in the mail from San Francisco, California. Bohemian Club, weaving spiders, coming out here, San Francisco. Dear Mr. It's a real mail, guys. Crazy. It is our information that, in spite of the private nature of the Bohemian Club, you have made unauthorized entries into the Bohemian Grove. That while you were on the property, you took unauthorized video recordings of the Grove and events happening at the Grove. We also understand that you have posted these unauthorized recordings on various social media sites.
According to him, he later returned to the area, but the true nature of the site remained unclear. The videos gained attention online, but soon afterward he received a formal letter. While its full contents were never shared publicly, the outcome was clear. He was required to remove all footage related to Bohemian Grove from his channel. Today, only re-uploads shared by other users remain online. The phone and the response that followed suggest strict monitoring, but not its purpose. Was it a simple security measure or something more deliberate? And what would you think if exploring a place led to everything being erased afterward? The video went live on August 6, 2025. It documents a solo camping attempt by Kevin, the creator behind the YouTube channel Small Plots, who set out for an overnight stay on the outskirts of Rochester. He chose a concealed location near an abandoned railroad line close to a lumber yard. What initially appeared to be a discreet spot for a stealth camp quickly proved to be a poor choice.
I'm here at the edge of the city. It's a hazy summer day. I'm getting into kind of like a sketchy industrial area here. Just typical sketchy industrial area, nothing special. But there's a nice bit of woods. Now down the trail, there's a lumber yard, I believe it is, that I'm going to be camping next to in a little bit of wood.
After arriving at the park, he began to feel uneasy. The area was strangely busy with people scattered throughout. As he waited for the park to empty, he noticed something unusual. Men were repeatedly moving in and out of the woods, walking back and forth without any clear purpose.
It's kind of to the industrial area. But first I gotta wait for this guy to leave. So I'm gonna kind of like explore the park a little bit. I've been to this park a handful of times in my life, and I've only ever seen like maybe one other person here, maybe a couple other people. This is every parking. Cars have left, but I'm not even kidding you, there's just like dudes stumbling out of the woods. It's like, that's like the third dude I've seen stumble out of the woods. The first dude is now going back. I think that's the first guy I saw. And he walked back here, waited, he's looking around sketchily. So now that guy is going back in the woods. I feel like there's like some pervert stuff getting in my way right now. I don't know what. I'm not grasping exactly what would be going on to where dudes are like switching places in a forest like that. I don't know how much longer I can sit here. I might have to find a new spot tonight.
He watched one man leave the trees and then return. Soon after, another man did the same. He could not make sense of it. The behavior felt secretive, as if they were switching places or hiding something. Eventually, he decided to move into the woods and set up camp.
So the last guy is in his car, but he's just hanging out. I think I'm going to take this opportunity, just in case he does get out, go back in the woods. I'm going to just run and go where I need to go. He won't see me. He won't know that I'm about to walk down that little train track there. But I'm going to make this fast. This is going to be weird. Let's go.
He had to act quickly, crawling beneath vines and forcing his way through thick brush. He knew the risk he was taking and worried the men nearby might have heard him and figured out where he was heading.
Find where I'm going, and then I'll go there. That guy is still there. I can see his, I don't know if the camera's picking up on his red truck. And I saw him walking back towards this area, like through the trees. I don't know if I'm sure he heard me. That was so loud. Whatever. Hopefully he's less sketchy than I am.
Later, as darkness began to fall, he sat quietly at his campsite when he heard movement along the trail. A dog barked, followed by sounds that suggested a person nearby. He stayed completely still, concealed within the bushes.
I think there's somebody on the trail, so I'm gonna wait a minute. I heard a kid or a dog or something. And hopefully I won't have to do that again until the morning. That's a pain in the butt getting through that. Eesh.
Just before night fully settled in, he noticed a silhouette standing on the trail and facing toward him. He realized he had been spotted. The figure and their dog were outlined against the fading light, and he knew his own shape was visible as well. He felt exposed and afraid, but after a moment the person turned and walked away.
Somebody's looking at me right now. Yeah, they're looking right at me. Their dog barked. I can't see him on the camera. I can see him with my eyes. We're looking at each other. I'm just gonna slowly go down. Now somebody, they barked. Walked over there, I guess they have a dog, and we definitely saw each other. At least I saw him, I assume he saw me. Doesn't sound like he's coming this way, but I was definitely seen. Okay, I think I'm good. Whoever saw me probably just, wanted to steer clear of the guy in the woods. I saw his silhouette looking at me. I'm sure he saw mine looking at him. I'm kind of in the only somewhat illuminated area in this little bit of forest.
Even then, the night was not over. Without warning, a woodchuck suddenly ran toward him. The unexpected movement startled him badly, despite the animal being small. It was a strange and unsettling way to end a night filled with tension and uncomfortable encounters.
A little baby woodchuck started running at me, ran under my chair, and then up and into a hole over there. Oh man, that guy was not expecting me to be here. I've never had that happen. You ever have an animal just run at you randomly in the night, even if it's a little woodchuck? That was startling. Well, hopefully those people are actually gone, because if they're not, I definitely just gave myself away going, "Bah!" like Hank Hill style.
He made it through the camp safely, but the feeling of being watched stayed with him long after. If you were camping and saw people acting strangely nearby after dark, would you stay quiet and hope they leave or pack up and get out right away? This story involves Todd Champion, the creator of the YouTube channel Camping with Champion, where he documents stealth camping in unusual locations. Most of his trips end without incident, but in a video uploaded on August 30th, 2025, he shared an encounter that was far more unsettling than anything he had experienced before.
Back in my spot, oh my gosh, thought I saw someone. That same guy that I saw earlier when I went to check the dumpsters was back again. I was just trying to get some cool shots, and he just popped up out of nowhere. And then he started asking me he's like, do you need me to help you film or something like that? Did I want him to hold the camera or something? I was like, no, I'm good. Then he was like, where are you camping at? And I was just like, just down the road. I shouldn't even have said that much, but. And then he asked me if I wanted someone else to camp with you. What? What the crap? That was nuts.
Earlier in the outing, Todd checked the area around his campsite to make sure he was alone. Although he believed the location was clear, that assumption turned out to be wrong. At first, he did not view it as a serious problem, and continued settling in for the night, preparing food and trying to relax. However, the situation gradually began to change.
That guy's back. You hungry?
No.
I got a sandwich here.
I was just walking around until daylight.
Really?
The same man Todd had noticed earlier returned to the hidden campsite. This time, the encounter felt more disturbing. The man behaved unpredictably and spoke at length in a way that felt unfocused and erratic, making the situation increasingly uncomfortable.
Died 5 times in my life. I've shot, I've been stabbed, I've been hanged 3 times. Each time they hang me to I'm about dead and they cut the rope.
Yeah.
I don't know what made me walk down this way.
Got any kids or anything?
Got 4 kids.
How old?
Twin boys, 13, 2 girls, 16 and 15. Don't miss little things in life. I'm just them growing up, man.
Yeah.
I miss mine.
I used to be a truck driver and I quit because my kids were little. Trying to do this, maybe I can do something better, you know?
Someone with you to help you do it?
My wife. Before I met my wife, dude, I was bad. And I probably wouldn't still be around if I hadn't met my wife. Good meeting you, brother. See ya. So he just left. I'm packing up my stuff and I'm getting out of here.
Sensing that something was not right, Todd quietly took out a knife and kept it hidden, ready in case the encounter escalated. After some time, the man eventually walked away. Todd immediately began packing up his gear, planning to leave as soon as possible. While Todd was preparing to leave, the man briefly reappeared, causing the tension to spike once more.
He came back again while I was packing up. Just showed me some little rechargeable fan thing he had. But I can see him walking down the highway now. I'm getting out of here. We'll talk more once I get somewhere I feel safe.
Shortly afterward, Todd left the area entirely and headed somewhere he felt safe. The encounter ended without physical harm. However, the following day, Todd searched for information about the man online, and what he found raised further concern.
And I was actually able to look the guy up, and I found some drug charges from last month where he was arrested. So I'm thinking he probably had just gotten out of jail and was wandering around. He may not be completely homeless. I would like to say that the guy, he seemed okay when I was talking to him. There were some times when he seemed pretty normal, pretty okay. And then there was other times where he was saying some weird stuff. So that's really why I left. Another thing is that he told me he was an Iraqi war veteran. I thanked him for his service, offered him to make sure he had food and something to drink. But he told me he had PTSD, and then sometimes he didn't know what he was doing, like he would lose control, thinking he was in war. Said he'd been banned from Walmart for having episodes in there. Like, I really didn't want to be out there with him if he goes into one of these episodes. I have no idea if any of that was true or not. I really didn't want to take a chance of being out there and he have an episode. I'm the only person out there at night that he knows of, you know, so.
The situation showed how quickly a normal night can turn dangerous, and trusting his instincts may have prevented something much worse. It is possible the man was dealing with personal issues that made his behavior unstable, which turned an ordinary encounter into a risky one. When you are alone outdoors, even small warning signs matter. If someone you did not know kept returning to your campsite after dark, would you stay and hope nothing happens, or leave to stay safe? On September 5th, 2024, a video uploaded to Moxley's Paranormal World documented an overnight camping trip in Delamere Forest, one of the most haunted forests in the UK. The channel is known for exploring locations connected to paranormal activity and dark local history. Delamere Forest has long been linked to reports of shadow figures, a werewolf-like creature, and a white lady said to wander among the trees. The area also carries a grim past, including a 1971 case in which 3 hikers were killed.
So tonight, I'm heading out to Delamere Forest. We've got to do an overnight haunted camp here. This place has got a lot of history to it.
He arrived late at night with his friend Ming, close to 11 p.m., when the forest was completely dark. Finding a level place to pitch their tents proved difficult. As they moved through the woods, an uneasy feeling lingered, making the environment feel tense and unfamiliar.
Right, so this is where we're walking down here. We're trying to stick to the water edge, but just look how dark it is. Turn that one off. That's how dark it is now. We've got to try and set up tent in the pitch darkness. So it has just gone 11 o'clock at night now. So without a light, but we should be okay. As soon as we find a bit of flat land, get the tents up. Oh, it is spooky out here just walking around. We're just walking around and it's like, it has got a feeling.
After the tents were finally set up, strange sounds began to emerge. He heard movement passing through the trees and scratching noises coming from Ming's tent, even though there were no branches nearby that could explain it. As the night continued, the unexplained noises persisted.
Oh, Ming's in his tent. But, Ming,
yeah,
whilst you were building,
yeah,
can you hear those noises going through the trees and stuff?
yeah.
Oh, okay, granted, it could be birds, it's animals, but out here in the open. With the stories that we've been reading, of shadow figures moving throughout the trees, the lady in white, and don't forget the dog-like creature, dogman, something like that, so a werewolf. There's a lot of rumours to that, so
well, let's hope there's something.
Let's see if we can capture anything like that tonight.
Mate, I'm hearing scratching, and I'm not kidding you.
On your tent?
It's like right behind me.
See, I was getting like a across the top of my tent.
I mean, it could have been anything.
Well, let's go and have a look.
There it is again.
Mate, I'm literally stood here.
There it is again.
There's nothing on your tent.
Nothing at all?
Nothing on your tent. There's nothing even around the back of your tent.
He's actually going round the tent now, outside. Because I can hear that scratching that's going on now.
There's nothing here.
The sounds seemed to travel through the forest, growing more unsettling as the hours passed. Later, both he and Ming heard what sounded like footsteps pushing through brambles behind them. Soon after, they heard the clear sound of a woman crying.
Right, so me and Ming, he sat in his tent, I'm sat in mine. We heard there was brambles breaking, I was walking. I don't know, but it's been going on all night, that. It'll go dead silent, then it'll pick up.
Yeah.
But please, you heard that, like somebody was walking through this.
I did.
And then...
Let me get my torch. Right, folks.
I don't know. Right, should we go and have a look? But that come from behind us over there.
Yeah. It was definitely behind us.
Yeah, good idea.
Right.
On a serious note, did that sound like somebody crying?
It did to me. It sounded like somebody crying to me. Oh, come.
The noise was loud and close, as if someone were standing nearby, yet when they looked, nothing was there. The crying felt real and deeply disturbing, leaving him shaken.
As it shook me up. Yeah, it's really shook me up. If I was out here on my own, would I be here now? No. I'd have just left. I'd have just grabbed my bag and gone. What?
After Ming fell asleep, the strange activity continued. Unable to ignore it, he chose to step out alone to investigate further and attempt communication. He walked deeper into the forest, moving toward the road. While alone, a strange voice came through his device, repeating disturbing words and phrases.
Really is just an eerie feeling to it. I don't want to wake him up to say that I'm going off and doing all of it, but I won't go too far. I just want to go up to the road. Any shadow figures? If you want to come and speak to me. There's been a lot of reports of something being out here, something haunting this forest. I've seen shadow figures running between the trees. Others have even seen what they say is the white lady floating between the trees. Out here tonight, I heard a lady crying. If that was you at all.
Movement.
Movement. Yes, I heard movement. Was it you that heard? I really do not know if this is a wise idea. And that's why we come out here to do an overnight haunted camp. To see if we can pick anything up.
Michael.
Michael. What I heard earlier.
1940s.
1940s.
At the same time, he felt a heavy negative presence surrounding him. The experience was so intense that he later said if he had been alone when he heard the footsteps and the crying, he would have run away, leaving everything behind.
100% nobody come down. Well, we did hear something, but we'd have seen a torchlight, we'd have seen someone, but there's absolutely nobody there. Maybe this place truly is haunted. By who or what? White lady? The shadow figures that have been seen? Darting through...
No clear explanation was found. No lights appeared and no other people were seen despite the sounds being unmistakable. The forest remained empty. The experience made them question whether the legends of Delamere Forest were real, as the sounds they heard closely matched stories of shadow figures and the White Lady. It is possible that darkness, unfamiliar noises, and fear caused ordinary sounds to feel threatening, but hearing footsteps and crying with no one in sight is hard to ignore. If that happened to you deep in the forest at night, would you stay to investigate or leave right away?
That's it for tonight. Which moment creeped you out the most? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story? Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.